So this just came in today. I've been waiting like 2.5 years for this thing. This is Mezco Toys 1/12 Collective Batman Gotham by Gaslight Edition. And it was came out at Mezco Con, the summer toy con they have, back in 2021. And it just arrived today. So it took over 2 years to get here. What's funny is they had a Joker come out a couple days after that during that Mezco Con, and that Joker was released like that week. Gaslight version of Joker, which I have, and I have an Instagram video about that, but I'll probably transfer that over to YouTube at some point. But anyway, I'm waiting for this guy. So Gotham by Gaslight, if you don't know, is an Elseworlds tale, the first Elseworlds tale in the DC universe. So kind of like, today we have MCU multiverse. This is like the start of DC's multiverse for the most part. And it's an alternate reality. I think it was set in 1889. It's a graphic novel. This is actually, I think, the cover of the novel, if I remember correctly. I haven't read it since I was a kid. It's been a long time. It came out the same year as Keaton Batman, 89. So it's all during that same year. What a great year for Batman, right? But anyway, it's a whole Gaslight thing, Victorian era, where he becomes Batman and he fights Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper comes to Gotham from London, and Batman, goes through that whole thing. It's a really cool story. I don't remember if Batman ever crossed paths with Sherlock Holmes. I feel like he did at some point somewhere. If he did, let me know, because that would be an awesome mashup to have those two guys working together to solve crimes. But anyway, I'm not going to spoil the story. From what I remember, there was also an animated movie that came out, DC made just a couple years ago. I watched that. Pretty different from the comic. The villain ends up being completely different. Again, I won't spoil that. But if you like Victorian era stuff or, Gaslight stuff, this is right up your alley. So this is really cool. This cover art is amazing. I haven't had a normal Mezco box in a long time. I've been getting either like tin boxes or the smaller summer releases. But this is kind of the standard size Mezco box. Mezco exclusive. Up here, it's kind of hard to see, but it says Mezco exclusive, 1/12 collective. On the side, you get a picture of Batman, and he has a cool overcoat, cloak. And on the back, they actually show pictures of this is kind of old school Mezco right here, how they used to do their boxes. It shows you all the stuff he comes with. So he comes with this cool like glider, and then unmask mask there, a bunch of throwing knives, some goggles, a head sculpt, and if you can tell that Victorian style head sculpt, he has like the mutton chops in the side. Here's the look of what he looks like. I love this design of the cloak. It's so cool, so cool. Bunch of hands, and then a grappling hook, no grappling gun. Victorian era, so no guns. Well, I guess there was back then, right? 1889. But anyway, he comes with just a grappling hook. And then 4 batarangs, which I think are foldable. And this super cool Gotham by Gaslight base. Really awesome. And then there's some artwork down here, promo pics from the website of what he looks like. So let's get this guy unboxed and take a look at him. Okay, so when you open this thing up, every Mezco figure comes with this 1/12 collective direction thing. It pretty much tells you these are intended for ages 18 and up. So there's your disclaimer. These are not intended for children. These are not technically toys, even though they are. They're technically collectibles. And then it talks about posing the body, not to go too far, to bend it, possibly break the joints. So it's, we get that every time. And then here's some directions that it comes with. And the directions pretty much talk about how to assemble the harness for the wingsuit. A little detailed, actually, of what you got to do this. I'll leave it here. You guys can pause if you want. But, I haven't put it together yet, but we'll see how easy it is. Once I do, I'll let you know. But then if you look here, the inside of the box, so here's Batman right here. There's a paper that covers him to protect him, but I've took that off. So here's the cloak, the cape, I guess, if you will. You can see how it's dirtied up. They've got it weathered, which is really cool. The Joker also, his outer coat, was like this, and his pants were dirty too. Really cool stuff. And here's the glider. It's not together. This is actually the harness. The bat symbol on that harness is tilted, and I don't know if that's on purpose. It's hard to tell from the promo pics if it was, but mine is tilted. I don't know how I feel about that. Kind of goofy that it's not the bat symbol's not straight. And then here's the glider. This is actually fabric. The wings are fabric, which is pretty cool. And then you get two extra head sculpts, which will open up in a minute. A bunch of hands, and then the second tray. If I can move this, there's the awesome base, and I'll probably take this out because it's really cool to look at. This base is excellent. And then the 4 foldable batarangs. The arm there you can use for posing him if you want him in flight mode. And then the cowl by itself, the goggles, the grappling rope, I guess. And then I'm not sure what that is. Something to do with his pouch, maybe to hold the grapple hook. And then the 112 collective bag if you want to put your accessories in there. And of course, 6 throwing knives. I always love how Mezco gives you more than you need for accessories, because this stuff can get lost, it can break. So good on Mezco for giving the additional accessories. So we'll get this guy opened up and we'll show it all in more detail. All right, so here's everything out of the package, and it's a lot more than I initially thought. Looking at the package, the two trays. But we go to some detail here. You can look at these wings real quick. I'll show you how they fold open. And so this is actually material. It's a little bit, it's almost like t-shirt cotton material. So you gotta be careful with that, because I feel like maybe it could tear or something like that. But that's pretty cool. And then his hands hang up on these right here. And you have to actually take these off, put the hands on, then put it on the figure. It's kind of crazy how the directions are. So we'll see how it works. I haven't tried it yet, but that's that. Here's the harness. Like I showed you before, that bat symbol is tilted. Once again, in his chest, you can tell more that it's tilted, but pretty cool. You know, kind of like Gaslight works going on back here. A bunch of gears and stuff turning this thing. I think the wings pop in here, and these ball joint sockets. And then here is the cowl, which you can have him holding. Let me see if I can get this better for you guys to see. You can have him holding that cowl like he's taking it with his unmasked head. And you can see the stitching on the top of the forehead like it is in the book and the cartoon. So pretty cool there. Here is his unmasked head sculpt. Really nice looking Bruce Wayne head sculpt. And you can see his mutton chops there. Very cool. I really like this head sculpt. And then we got one that's an angry head sculpt here. Sort of angry. You can see his teeth there a little bit. And then I'm just going to point down here. There's his you see his goggles there. This thing that goes on his belt, I'm not quite sure what that is. One of these knuckles is a knuckle duster. Check it out. It's like a brass knuckles. Yeah, brass knuckles. There's the grappling hook. I folded up one of the batarangs so you can see what it looks like, and then there's the 6 throwing knives, which I'm excited about those. You know, Batman doesn't kill, but you know, this is a different universe, and he's got more of a kind of like almost like a ninja skill to me, those throwing knives. And then here's a good look at the base. Back up a little bit. That base is really cool. If you can tell here, there's actually from the comic, there's some bubbles there. You can actually read what it says. It's like a panel from the comic. So really cool stuff. Now, let me get Batman kind of set up here, and I'll show you what he looks like. If I bring this in a little bit. There's the hat it comes with. Pretty cool looking. And this is actually metal. This chain here is metal. This is all wired. The overcloak is wired as well. And of course this, let me back out. This cloak here is wired as well too. So you can really get it to come out. Couple things they changed from the promo pics. I probably need to take this off. I still have this plastic wrap on this guy and everything. But these almost like, I think they're called smocks. They kind of cover dirt on shoes. They go all the way up past his knee. In the promo pic, he had just normal boots on. But they added these, and they kind of have some weathering on them. Look pretty neat. But it's, you can still get a 90-degree bend on his knee. These don't move though, but it's a cool different look. And he's got a thigh holster or a thigh strap that has, some type of gadgets in it. So there's the bat symbol. I got to pull this belt down. This belt's really high. And then this cloak is held on by like these, what are they called? Nylon straps or bendies. So it's kind of being held on by that on both sides, plus the chain. So I'll probably take this off to show articulation here in a minute. And then we'll move on to some of the accessories. All right, so I took his cloak off, belt off. I'm going to show you articulation here. The neck joint does not move, so only the head moves. It moves pretty good, for a flight pose, not too bad. Then of course it rocks side to side. Arms go up to 90. There is bicep swivel, and then there is double jointed elbows, ball hinge wrist, or ball peg, I think. And then his upper torso does move independently. It's kind of hard to tell, but it does. And then his waist moves. This belt keeps wanting to go up. In fact, the belt just came apart. All right, we'll take the belt off for now. Kind of has like an overcoat on. I'm trying to see if we can see. You see those like little fake buttons here. It doesn't come apart. It's sewed shut, but it's pretty neat. And then the bat symbol is printed on a piece of like plastic or something like that. Not plastic, but it's not fabric. And then the legs, this is maybe my first Mezco figure that has a really loose joint right out of the box. This right leg is really loose. It's disappointing. It does hold the pose, but it's very loose. Double jointed knees, and then the feet, it's hard to tell because of these schmocks, whatever they're called. Foot goes down a bit. It doesn't really go up too much. They do rock a bit. It's hard to tell. The ankles do rock some, but with these in the way, it's kind of hard to get any type of really good articulation. You can see his boots though. They're actually has like heels in the back, so very Victorian era looking. But that's kind of articulation for this guy. Let me go ahead and get all this stuff put on him. I'm going to do the flight suit next, and then we'll strike a few poses. All right, so here's Batman with his wing glider, whatever they call it. It was definitely not it was difficult to put on. This is just, I've spin him around. It's just oh boy, he's gonna fall. It's just a ball hinge joint back here that each wing goes into, which is fine, and that gives some mobility for each wing to move around a little bit. The hard thing was getting his hands in the handles for the glider. The hands are pliable, which is nice, but it just wasn't easy. And then you take the hands off, take the handles off the glider wing. You put the handles into the hand, put the hand back onto the arm, and then attach the handle to the glider wing. The directions that it comes with, step by step, made sense, finally, for Mezco's directions, made sense. It was just, it took a minute. And so you just gotta be careful that you don't, break those handles. They seem kind of easy to break. And then if you turn the ball peg hinge, if you direct it right, you can get his wrist to go back further to attach easier. That's a little tip there. But here he is with the goggles on. The goggles are green, kind of hard to see right here, but they're green goggles. There's that bat symbol. It's definitely crooked. Maybe that's on purpose. I don't know. Maybe it's a production error. I'm not sure. But, pretty cool if I zoom out a little bit. I don't think I'll be displaying him with this, although I might be. I don't know. It's a pretty cool addition. And you know, it's been so long since I've read the comic. I don't remember if he had the glider in the comic or not. I don't remember. If you know, let me know because I'm not positive. I just can't remember. Even the movie, which was just a few years ago, I don't remember if it was in the movie either, the cartoon. I will say this: his utility belt came undone, and I've had a heck of a time trying to keep it connected. So just FYI on that. The harness goes on pretty good. It pops off on the side here, I believe. Where are we at? Right around there, it pops off. They don't really tell you how to take the harness apart. You have to figure it out yourself. But man, it's pretty cool. Definitely something different for Batman. And with the flight stand here, on the base, that will look cool being displayed like that. I might go with that. I kind of want to use a throwing knife or something, but man, that's pretty sweet. So there's one view. I'm gonna take this all apart now. I'm gonna leave these hands though on those handles because it was so hard to get them on. I'm gonna leave those on in the box, and then I'm gonna put his cowl, his cloak back on, and then get a couple more poses with the different headshots. All right, so I've come to realize that this figure, this release, requires a lot of futzing. Having a lot of issues. That belt is constantly coming undone, which is disappointing. It's like the Wolverine belt that came with the Sentinel. That belt falls off a lot too. I wish Mezco had a better way of doing that. Um, and because the way this cloak is made, you can't get a lot of dynamic poses. At least I couldn't mess around for a few minutes here. I wanted to get him like he's throwing the knife. It's not the best pose by any means. But that hand holds the knife or the batarangs. But because of that cloak, the way it's designed, it's hard to get mobility or range, even with the wired part. I actually didn't use the elastic straps underneath the arms because they were just getting in the way, hindering a lot of this stuff. So I just kind of have them tucked away so you can't see them. I have a feeling I'm either going to use the hang glider thing or just do kind of a stoic pose for this figure because it's tough to get anything really super dynamic. I love the overcoat and the cloak though, and I don't want to lose that. So let me do a couple more poses here and see what we get. So here's just a very simple, museum pose. Very stoic look of Batman, but it looks really cool. The cape, the cloak comes down, actually touches the ground, so you can bend it to really just give it a nice look. If I zoom in here, and you can see the dirt marks, the weathering they gave to the cape, and even on the knee pads or the schmocks, whatever they're called, I can't remember. Pretty cool look. And then I got his knives in the holster there, and then there he is, kind of looking all stoic. Let me just back up a little bit here. I love the long ears. I prefer long ears on Batman than the short ones, so I'm glad they went with the long ears. Let me show you this belt real quick because the belt, like I said, is giving me all sorts of troubles. I'm just going to pull this off. If I spin this around, you can see the knives here on the side. There's 3 knives that can go in there. But on the back here, this piece that they gave you extra, I can put a folded up batarang in there, and it fits real nice. But again, this piece wants to fall off, and the belt right here wants to come apart quite a bit, so you gotta be really careful. And then this one actually unhooks, and I think this can go in here. I had it in there, but it got in the way of his arm. So I think that's where the grappling hook is supposed to go. I really don't want to untangle this thing. It's a pretty cool detail, but I just don't want to take it all apart and then have wire everywhere. But if you want to get him like he's going to kind of like spinning the grappling hook to throw it up to climb a building, you can do that. But I think it's supposed to go back here. All right, here he is with the knuckle duster, ready to get into a fight. I got the other head sculpt on. I guess this is considered the angry one, where he's showing the mouth a little bit. But I was able to get the wired cloak kind of out of the way to get his arm up a bit. So you can get some poses, some cool poses with some of this stuff. So not too bad. Let me do one with the Bruce Wayne head sculpt. All right, here's the Bruce Wayne head sculpt, and he's holding the cowl. If I zoom in here first in the head sculpt, get a look at this thing. It looks really good. Yeah, kind of hiding behind that overcloak a little bit. The wire chain looks really good. The faux buttons, you know, even the belt, as much as it comes up open, it disconnects. It looks good. It's weathered good. It's painted good. You can just see one of the knives right there. Really cool. And then here he is holding his cowl. A promo pic shows him holding it up, and I'll show you here in a second. You need like silly putty or silly tack for that, or tacky putty, whatever this stuff's called. I can never remember. Let me back this up a little bit. So if you pull this hand up here, there's a promo pic showing him holding it like this. He's holding it like this with the hand. But you can't get that pose. This hand, I tried all the hands. None of the hands want to hold the top of this cowl in place. It just, oh, actually, I say that and look what happens. I don't know how it's doing it. I actually got it to do it. So if you kind of hold this up, I'm afraid to move it. That's pretty cool. Look at that cowl, the stitching. I actually got the hand to work on camera too. So it's wrapped around just kind of like that with the thumb right there. Even the hands, you know, are dirtied up. You can see dirt on the gloves, dirt on the forearm there, the gauntlet. Yeah, just a really cool looking figure. Let me pull the Joker in. I have him over here. I just got to move some things. I'm going to slide him over, and I haven't had these guys side by side yet. I've been waiting 2 years for this. But here's Joker. Back out a little bit. Look at that. Look at that. He's like saying, hey, I'm Bruce Wayne. And this Joker, I went through some Instagram. I usually did photographs, toy photography on Instagram, but I did some videos some years ago, and I might try and see if I can get those on YouTube. I did a review of this guy on Instagram. I thought this Joker was fantastic. I don't know if either of these figures are still available. I think they're both on waitlist. Because they're Mezco exclusives, I don't think you can get them anywhere else, unfortunately. So, but yeah, this looks great. And of course, that head sculpt there is, what was the movie called? The Man Who Laughs, from like the 20s, is kind of where they get the whole look for Joker. And they kind of went with that. Look at that. Look at that look. He's looking over at Batman. But yeah, he was in the Gotham by Gaslight comic, briefly. And he had a pretty cool role in that. But I think it's cool they released both of these. This Joker is called Gotham by Gaslight Joker on Mezco's website, but the packaging shows nothing that says Gotham by Gaslight. So I find it kind of interesting. But anyway, these two paired together look pretty good. This Batman, really cool figure. I would say if you can get this guy still, this Batman, I think he's worth it if you like that era. And that the whole thing about Batman, you know, being Victorian era. It comes with some cool accessories. If you like that glider, I actually wasn't planning on displaying him with the glider, but I think I might. Even though I love this cape and cloak so much, that look with the glider was really cool, I gotta admit. So let me know your guys' thoughts on this figure. It's got a few issues. Like I said, my leg, that right leg is really loose for a joint. The only Mezco figure I've ever had with a loose joint right out of the box. And that's along with the belt that just doesn't want to stay connected. And when you try and lower it, it just pops off. So it's kind of difficult with the belt there. But other than that, just to display this guy in your cabinet or whatever, in a detolf, I think it's well worth it. So let me know your thoughts. This has been Mezco Toyz 112 Collective, Batman Gotham by Gaslight.